The first time Amina Khan felt her baby kick, she was standing in a quiet hospital room, holding the hand of a dying patient. The contrast struck her like lightning, life beginning inside her, and life slowly fading in front of her. It was in that fragile, humbling moment she realized just how extraordinary her journey had become. Amina was a 31-year-old Muslim nurse living in Michigan, working long night shifts at a bustling city hospital. From a young age, she knew two things for certain: she wanted to help people, and she wanted to live a life rooted in compassion, strength, and faith. What she didn't expect was how deeply life would test those convictions. She was the daughter of Pakistani immigrants who came to the U.S. with nothing but hope and relentless determination. Amina had grown up in a traditional but loving home, modest, disciplined, and protective. Her parents had high expectations, especially for a daughter. She was taught to be careful with her reputation, cautious with her emotions, and even more cautious with men. Amina had always been the good daughter. She finished nursing school at the top of her class, never missed a prayer, and helped care for her younger siblings when her father's health declined. She dreamed of marrying someone kind, grounded in faith, someone like Omar, her classmate from nursing school. They married quietly in a small ceremony, filled with laughter and endless promises. But 6 months into their marriage, everything changed. Omar was diagnosed with an aggressive form of leukemia. What began as fatigue and bruises turned into hospital stays, chemotherapy, and a devastating realization: he wouldn't survive. Omar passed away just 11 months after their wedding. Amina's world turned gray. She went back to work too quickly, too silently, because the quiet was less painful than the condolences, the pitying looks, or the uncomfortable silence of friends who didn't know what to say. She buried her grief in hospital routines, night shifts, and sterile white rooms. One night, months after his passing, she found an envelope tucked into the bottom drawer of his desk. Inside was a letter. In it, Omar wrote about his hopes for their future. He mentioned something he had never told her: he'd left behind a preserved sperm sample at the clinic. He did it when doctors first mentioned chemotherapy might affect his ability to have children. The letter ended with, "If you ever feel ready, and if the world lets you, I want you to carry our dream forward." Amina stared at the letter for hours. The idea was overwhelming. She was a widowed Muslim woman, young, alone, and now with an unthinkable choice. Could she bring a child into this world on her own? Would her community support her? Or shame her? Would her family understand? She prayed. She cried. She consulted scholars, therapists, and friends. And eventually, with faith in her heart and trembling hands, she decided to do it. She would carry Omar's child. Not out of desperation, but out of love, hope, and defiance of a world that tried to tell women like her what they were allowed to become. Her pregnancy was not without challenges. At the hospital, whispers followed her. "She's pregnant. I didn't even know she was seeing someone." Some patients judged her by her hijab, assuming she was married. Others judged her belly, assuming she wasn't. A few co-workers avoided eye contact altogether. But some stood by her. Her best friend Maya, a fellow nurse, made sure she took her vitamins and rested during shifts. Her supervisor, a stern but fair woman named Donna, adjusted her schedule when morning sickness hit hardest. Slowly, Amina built a new kind of family, one that saw her, not as a scandal, but as a survivor. The hardest part, though, was her parents. When she told them, her mother's face went pale. "What will people say?" she whispered. Her father stayed silent for days. But one night, he knocked on her door, sat beside her, and said, "You are my daughter, and that child will be my grandchild. People will always talk. Let them." That moment healed something in her she hadn't realized was broken. As her belly grew, so did her courage. She began writing about her journey online, sharing her story in Muslim women's forums. She talked about grief, about faith, about the difficult intersection of culture and personal choice. Women from around the world messaged her, some in tears, others just saying thank you. She realized she wasn't just carrying a baby, she was carrying a conversation, a revolution of empathy and understanding. When she finally gave birth, a baby girl she named Noor, meaning light, it was just before sunrise, and the call to prayer was echoing from her phone speaker. She held her daughter close, whispering Omar's name, tears soaking her cheeks. Amina continued to work part-time, balancing motherhood and nursing. She became an advocate for Muslim women's reproductive rights and mental health. She wasn't trying to be anyone's role model, but her truth became a light for others walking through dark places. The story of an American Muslim medical nurse getting pregnant isn't one of shame. It's one of love, resilience, and the bravery it takes to live truthfully in a world that often misunderstands you. Amina's story is a reminder that real strength isn't always loud, it's the quiet choice to hope again, to love again, and to carry life forward, even when the world isn't ready for it.